minutes, so I have to talk before we eat. I hate making the same motherfucking speech, seminar after seminar.
Make a different one then.
No, well, the different one is you're all going to succeed. That's a fucking lie, because you're all going to fail. I would be disingenuous, and I would be just like all the other cocksuckers. You're going to know it's easy. And I got an upsell aside, so fuck your upsells. Nobody's inspired in this room. I'm it, or a bullet in your head, metaphorically speaking. I can't say that because one of you is going to blow your brains out, and then your wife's going to sue me, or your girlfriend, or somebody's going to sue me. So metaphorically speaking, you ought to put a gun in your motherfucking head. You've got a nice fat head, a black head. You got to jam it up to the roof of your mouth. No bullshit, because we've had people blow the side of their cheeks out. They can't even kill themselves right. Now, do you realize laughing and smiling is a coping mechanism for insecurity, you fucking idiot? Nobody's ever told you that before, have they? So tomorrow nobody's going to smile or laugh. It's a coping mechanism for your insecurity. You are a cunt. And when I say cunt, it means a coward. If you had a pair, there's a saying in the army, the military, sound off like you had a pair, Pina! Sound off like you had a pair. Does everybody understand what that means? A pair of these. You wouldn't be here. And who do you have to blame? Mommy and daddy. That's just who I am. And nothing's gonna change me. I'm too old. This dog been around too fucking long to change. But this dog isn't gonna change. I don't give a fuck, Sue me. I'll see you in court, asshole. We'll see who's got the best lawyer. You saw love doesn't mean shit, or love means zero. And I happen to know Nick, and I've talked to him. Number one, he doesn't know how to play tennis. Now, does everybody understand that? The world's greatest tennis player doesn't know how to fucking play tennis. He doesn't know how to play tennis. I've been saying for 26 and a half years, you don't have to understand this. Nobody believes me in this room. He doesn't know how to play tennis. What the fuck do I have to show you? Forget the fact that he's had 8 wives and he can't remember their name. Okay, that's the only thing you should have got from that fucking film. Now, hey, starting tomorrow, I want a camera up here to look at these fucking morons so they can see how stupid they look. What do I have to do? The greatest tennis coach that ever lived can't play tennis. Do you realize how many minutes, hours you waste on podcasts, books that you've wasted in your lifetime? Lots, right? You realize the time you wasted Google fucking me? There are no secrets, there are only mysteries, there's no secrets. Virtually everything I've ever done is on the net. And I said a couple years ago, just so you understand, I wipe my ass with my right hand. That's the only thing that wasn't on Google or on the internet. I wipe my ass with my right hand. And nobody even mentioned that. You know more about healthcare than he knows about tennis. Today, after 2 days. And you're still gonna go study. And you're still gonna do spreadsheets. Even though you've listened to 5 people, more or less, they say, how did you pick such and such? Mr. Pena says healthcare, telco, healthcare. But you're not gonna do that! Why? I want somebody with some huevos to stand up and tell me why you're gonna do the extra mile when it's not required. Tell me, I want somebody to tell me. Don't show their face on YouTube, just their voice. Why? There are places to go the extra mile. This is not one of them. Why? Because you're not serious. When a good-looking woman comes in the room, how long does it take you to ascertain that this chick is hot? 100th of a second? 1,000,000th of a second? Instantly, right? It transcends overcomplicating it. Because if you try it and it works, then and your subconscious knows this. Your little meathead, as small as your brain is, it understands this. As soon as you get the info, the secret sauce, so to speak, well, then now the pressure's on me. And Nellie said it beautifully yesterday. Then I realized the pressure was on me. And you don't want the pressure to be on you because you failed at almost everything in your life. What's going to be different about this? That's why. Because it's so, even though I'm up here, not arguably, the most successful financial coach in the history of the planet, and I'm telling you, and I produced all these people that have done it. Healthcare, telco, healthcare. Healthcare, telco, healthcare. You're going to hear a telco today. Healthcare, telco, telco. And you're still going to not jump in the breach. God almighty. You're looking at me like I'm talking Greek. And some of you will say, well, I'm in healthcare. The NHS is going to do this and Brexfuck and Brexit. All that is bullshit. It doesn't matter if Scotland falls off into the water and drowns today. Vis-a-vis Brexit. That's all. Those are excuses. They were already talking about the budget. On April the 5th, the budget comes out. And they're going to wait for what's everybody waiting for the budget? April, this is September, I'm here. The budget is in April, I'm here in September. Well, you mean we're going to wait with our thumb up our ass from fucking September to fucking April to decide what to do because of the budget? Fuck the budget. And that's one of the big excuses here in Britain. And some of the European countries wait to see what the budget's going to do, how it's going to affect them. Because we procrastinate, we want to push it out. We want to push it out. And for whatever reason, I've always jumped into the breach. One thing about living in the streets, hit first and ask questions later. I was always the first guy, and now if you hit first, it's a criminal offense, you gotta wait, and you can only use as much fierceness or power as the other guy, you can't, fuck that. If I can find a brick, boom! We'll see how tough Beast is when he gets hit with a fucking brick in the head from the back. There's certain guys you hit in the back. He's one of them. He's no problem for me. You know how when you touch gloves? When he turned around, boom! Fuck that Marcus of Queensberry shit, because you can't talk to each other once you leave here. If I find that out, and there are no secrets, kids, making money has always been easy for me. Always. Since I'm a little kid. You know why? Because nobody ever told me it was hard. Nobody ever told me it was hard to make a lot of money. Nobody had any money in our family, so I didn't have any negative bullshit. Well, it's hard to make money. Everybody in this room probably has been told it's fucking tough. I mean, first of all, you can't get money from the bank. You've been told that. Second, you've been told all these things, right? Well, nobody ever told me any of that shit. I used to think being arrested, being in jail, shit like that was gonna weigh on me as I got older, but it hasn't. Four or five of you in this room have colored past vis-a-vis the police, shall we say, and don't mean shit unless you shot somebody in front of Bank of America and Figueroa, downtown LA. Now, other than that, and we've had guys that, you listened to the gangbanger yesterday. He all look respectable now, doesn't he? He looks respectable. But nobody ever told me, not one single time. Now, I don't know if he bought Valentine's Day shit for his wives, and I don't know any of that, okay? I know I didn't, I haven't. Gifts that I've given my secretaries have lists. Didn't care. Because I knew it wasn't important. You're gonna go Christmas shopping? What a waste of fucking time. Jesus Christ. Oh, and I gotta get the right thing for Susie and the right. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? What a waste of fucking time. Remember little Johnny, fuck Johnny, if he doesn't have any toys, he should have had richer parents. You've been taught, some of you, that one person can make a difference. Not. There's been 5 or 6 people on the planet, not all of which are good, that have made a difference. Arguably Muhammad and Christ, arguably. I would question that. But Hitler made a fucking difference. You bet your sweet ass, a little Adolf. I can just see him as a little fucking kid. Little narcissistic son of a bitch. Reminds me of my own childhood, actually. They're not gonna listen to you even if you charge them. I didn't believe that. I now know categorically it's true. So this started as, I don't wanna say a good guy project, because I don't like that terminology. But looking back in hindsight over 25 years, it could be easily construed that it was a good guy project. Like you go to Ethiopia and you drill fucking water wells for the fucking, which is all horse shit. A waste of fucking time. But that's how this started. You remember who the Doc came out smoking, and you remember the Beast came out smoking like this, right? Well, I want you to come out smoking. We don't give it to you till the last fucking day. The last 5 minutes of the last fucking day. Because if you saw what I require from you, you'd quit today. And this isn't a bullshit idle threat. Today, you'd quit. I wish I had a camera to look at your fucking faces. I smell fear in this fucking room. You'd quit today. You don't have to fill out the paperwork, fuck you. That's why the mentor is for free. So I can throw you out on your miserable fucking sorry ass anytime I feel like it. I get up and I don't have a pole vault, boy, you're out. But I can feel the tension in the room. I can see the fear in your eyes, and it's rightfully placed there. You become what you think about most. You have kids, right, Doc? The bullshit about you love all your kids the same as this horse shit. Because you don't. You love one more than the other. I hate that, but let's just say that we picked the one that you like the most, or love the most. And I put a gun in the kid's mouth. I said, you got 5 days to do such and such. There's a high probability the Doc's gonna get it accomplished. No prepayment penalty. You pay off the loans either for the seller's note or the bank note. You don't want prepayment penalty, for sure. In other words, when you prepay the loan and it's a 7-year piece of paper, you prepay it in 3 years, there quite often is a payment penalty because you're taking their money, you're giving them their money back sooner, and they built it into a spreadsheet, and now you're paying it off. So they may charge you 2 points, 50 grand, 100 grand, depending on the size of the loans, but you don't want any prepayment penalty. When you list people that you called, and I spot check, people that you're supposedly calling to be a chairman or contacting, you put their name, their LinkedIn link, if they have a LinkedIn. Some people don't have a LinkedIn link. You put a link to a profile they have in Google and their phone number. and I spot check. And I call up and let's say the Goomba brothers list some guy and he's never heard of you. Oh, I meant to call that guy, but I forgot, Mr. Penn. You're out of the program. I can't wait to hear your excuses. You will keep track of from the time you get up in the morning to the time you go to sleep at night, hour by hour. We have a French guy who fresh air walks 2 hours a day. I don't know what fresh air walking is. I think it's walking in the park or something. If you fresh air walk, don't list it. I'm not interested. I don't consider that exercising, you know. And big names respond quickest. Surprisingly, big names respond quickest. Just as, I respond very quickly. Now, if you do have an emergency, you think it's an emergency, email Kim. And by the way, the email reports come to a certain address. You're going to get that address from Thelma. Not Kim, not Vinica, not Thelma, not me, not Sally. For those of you that might have my email address, I hope you don't. But if you've got an emergency, you think it's an emergency, and there's really not many things that can be an emergency, you email Kim and say, can I talk to Dan? And you'll tell me what the agenda is, and I'll say it's not important. Or it is important, depending what it is. And even though you losing your chairman is not an emergency, losing your entire board is not an emergency. We've had groups that they lose their whole board because one board member will poison the rest of the board members against you. I know it's hard to believe that anybody would say anything bad about you guys, but they do. And it's normally about money, greed. And the closer you get to the goal line and they come to the realization, well, this fucker thing might work. And it's a €7 million deal, and they figure, well, this kid's gonna make €3 million on this, €3 million on this fucking thing. And what did he do? Nothing. What does he know? Nothing. How much money did he put up? Nothing. Who's putting up all the money? The banks. And then they go, well, fuck, this looks like a deal that I can take away from him. It's not quite that simple, but there are guys. Most of the people you're gonna deal with aren't devious. But the weekly report is for you. I can't emphasize this enough. Guys that write me daily reports, and I still get them, it's for them. They want the regimen of them doing it. The funny thing is that I read the report that they didn't want me to read. You know, I won't read 5 weekly reports from the guy, and then I'll say, well, I got some time. I'm looking, what the fuck? Kim, get this asshole on the phone. And the one that you did half-ass, that's the one I read. And that's just life. I mean, so the report system is bloody good, and it allows you to catch your own mistakes. It teaches you how to think. And you only get one. If you lose it, that's tough shit. Don't call somebody 2 days from now, well, I just tested and there's nothing on it. I mean, test it before you leave. Just ask yourself, would I have sat in those offices for 7 months, being thrown out of the offices, drug out of the offices, to get 12 signatures? Not everybody, I know I do it. I've done it. The only way you're gonna get it done is you're gonna have to be there and shame the ministers into signing. And if the cold calls are, I cunt it out, and then you complain about your problems, I'm not making more progress. If you actually read the fucking reports, I made no calls, sent no emails, I'm still deciding on the industry, and then you cry to me, I made no progress. This is, if your parents had done even a half-assed mediocre job, you wouldn't be here. And how have you benefited from the greatest transformation of wealth in the history of mankind so far? How have you benefited? Not a fucking at all. Why do you think Jocko is so fucking popular? Because he is one of the few guys on the internet, podcasts, that kind of thing, that acts as, looks like a real man. Now, the definition I get back from the snowflakes, well, what does a real man look like, Mr. Pena? Certainly not you, cunt, if you got to ask me. Some of you in this room waste 90% of the day. We don't plan to fail, we fail to plan. And that this is not dissimilar. Plan that you're going to follow is the plan that I was given when I was a young officer at NATO, that they still use at NATO. It's a military, it's based on military strategy. I comment on your reports. If we were at war, we'd be fucking dead based on the way you do shit. Because I base every decision you make on a day's life and death. And the only excuses, you've already heard me say this, is the only excuse is you're dead or you're in a coma. Because that's the real world at my level. It's not the real world that you've been associated with all, you know. You want to be a big fucking hitter. You want to be a big dog and stop licking your balls and get up off the fucking porch and run with the big fucking dogs. The report is based on that. This is the big fucking dog report. And if you want to have some fun, as Sally would say, water it down. And for those of you that have employees, make them give it to you weekly. Half your employees will quit the first month. I get 100% guarantee. 100% motherfucking guarantee half of them will quit the first month. If you really want to have some fucking fun, have them fill it out daily. They'll quit the first afternoon. They won't come back from lunch. You have never been held accountable at the big fucking hit standards. But it works. And the tighter I make it, the better it works. Like or hate Trump, they're the best numbers of our lives on jobs. And they're trying to throw him out of office. Do you realize if he gets impeached, if he gets thrown out, do you realize he can run again? Do you understand that? You fucking meatheads don't even understand it. But if you lost it in the Senate, he'd run again as an independent and win in a landslide. Don't you get it? And virtually nobody on the planet, other than a few meatheads like you that I train, are taking advantage of this, the greatest transformation of wealth in the history of the world. The greatest transformation of wealth in the history. And most of you haven't participated, not a dime. Because all those podcasts that you listen to, and there's not a man, woman, or child in this room doesn't listen to some fucking moron. We've only had 2 or 3 people in the history of the seminar, 26 and a half years, when I asked them, they didn't know anybody. They never heard of Tony Robbins. They never heard of Think and Grow Rich. They never heard of any of the things that you guys have grown up on. And they're all in the Hall of Fame. So what have you been reading? As they say in this part of the world, shite. We made the metaphor or the analogy I did yesterday. And it's really one of the reasons we box this one round is because you come out hell-bent for leather because you've only got one round and you come out smoking. You come out smoking like that following QLA program, you're going to get rich. The challenge is you run out of gas after one round. You're going to run out of gas here too. 1/3 of you in the next 6 to 8 weeks will become sick, meaning your body's going to break down. I mean, you're going to get, for those of you that have never had the flu or a cold, you're going to get them now, no matter how good a shape you are. Because mental stress is a lot tougher than physical stress. And for those of you that are really trying, and trying's not the operative word, doing, you're gonna get tired. And you're gonna think to yourself, how did that old fuck me used to work 5-6 days in a row with no sleep and drink like a fish and fuck like an animal, a vicious, savage animal. And most of my net worth was during that 10-year period, I only thought about one thing, making money, getting wealthy. I didn't think about anything else. To the detriment of my family, to the detriment of my God, to the extent that I believed in God back in those days, I only thought about one thing. But I'd wake up and I'd just, go hell-bent for leather, just like most of you did in the first round. But the anxiety when you leave here day after tomorrow will be pretty overwhelming for some of you. It should be overwhelming for all of you, if you're fucking serious. For those of you that are old enough to remember Woody Hayes, arguably one of the great coaches of all time. His last game, I think it was against Vanderbilt, I'm not sure what, but it was a team they should have beat. A runner got around their left cornerback, as I recall, and was gonna score a touchdown. The kids running around here, he took his headset off, threw it on the ground, threw his clipboard on the ground, and tackled him himself. He knew when he tackled that boy, his career was over. But to let a fucking skinny running back from Vanderbilt, of all schools, score on the mighty Ohio State, he would rather end his fucking career. There's nobody in this room that's got that kind of gumption. He knew he was chastised. He lost his pension. His world was over. There's some things worth dying for. Somebody come in and spit in your mother's face. What would you do? There's only one right answer. 97% of you answered, I would ascertain where he was in his state of mind. Now, what in the fuck does that have to do with the guy spitting in your mom's face because he had a bad day? 97%. Instead of, I'd pick something up, a brick, a board, and I'd beat him to death. I'd get 15 years and I'd get off in 3. The world is fucked. Now, we've already heard the doc whine about it's Christmas and out of the goodness of my heart. Well, that's not gonna happen. You can close a deal before the year end. I'm positive you can because I know there's such a thing as seller's finance. Absolutely you can, but you'd have to hump, be obnoxious. You'd have to be pushy. You'd have to be the things that you weren't raised to be. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. And for those of you that have closer to that end of the continuum in your natural personality, you'll succeed faster than the other guy. I have not carried cash, credit cards, or check in 30 years. Sally gives me 20 pounds when we're in London in case I get lost. She gives me only $20 in New York. She should give me more money when I'm in New York, but she doesn't. Albert Einstein, when he was at Princeton, they used to put cellophane tape, a nickel, behind his coat collar here, because that's how much the phone call cost in those days, a nickel, because he didn't know how to get home. I'm not trying to equate to it that I'm Albert Einstein, but in this fucking industry, I am motherfucking Albert Einstein. For those of you that have higher education, you're gonna fail. For those of you that are Asian, you're gonna fail. For those of you that are devout, religious, anything, you're gonna fail. And I'll explain to you in the next few days why. If love and religion got the job, none of you motherfuckers would be here. Who are the most religious people on the planet? The poorest. And why are they the most religious? Because they have no fucking hope. But they're smart enough to understand it. You dipshits aren't. Your homework I read at lunchtime. I don't have lunch with you.